Long ago, nestled in the serene hills of a remote village in Thailand, there lived a young monk named Viro. The temple where he lived was surrounded by towering trees, flowing rivers, and the soothing sounds of nature. However, despite the beauty that enveloped him, Viro had one challenge: sleep. Every night, after the evening bell had tolled and the monks gathered for meditation, Viro would lie awake in his simple bed, staring at the ceiling, his mind racing with thoughts of the day. At first, he didn't understand why sleep was so elusive. He would practice meditation in the mornings, chant the sacred scriptures, and live a life of discipline. Yet he still found himself struggling with restless nights. He often felt drained the next day, unable to fully engage in his duties or enjoy the peace he had worked so hard to achieve. One day, an elderly monk named Fra Yai, who had spent many years in silence and contemplation, noticed the young monk's struggles. Fra Yai was known for his wisdom and peaceful demeanor, and he had lived through countless seasons in the temple without ever seeming to need much rest. One evening, after the evening bell rang, Fra Yai approached Viro as he was preparing for bed. "You seem troubled, my young friend," Fra Yai observed gently. "What weighs on your mind?" Viro hesitated, unsure if he should speak of his struggle, but then he confided in the elder monk. "Master, no matter how hard I try, sleep does not come easily to me. My mind races with thoughts, and no matter how still I try to be, the rest I need never seems to arrive." Fra Yai smiled warmly, his eyes reflecting the wisdom of years spent in quiet contemplation. "Ah, I see," he said. "You have been meditating on your thoughts, but you have not yet learned how to let go of them fully. The secret to sleep is not in chasing it, but in releasing the very things that prevent it." Viro listened carefully as Fra Yai continued. "There is a practice among us monks called the stillness of the mind. It is not just about sitting quietly, but about observing each thought without attachment or judgment. When you lie down to sleep, allow your thoughts to come and go like leaves floating on a river. Do not cling to them. Do not seek to control them. Simply observe them with awareness and then let them pass." Intrigued, Viro decided to try this new practice. That night, instead of trying to force himself to sleep, he laid down in his bed and focused on his breath. As thoughts came into his mind, he gently acknowledged them, but did not follow them. He imagined them as clouds drifting across a vast sky. Slowly, he felt the tension in his body begin to melt away. His mind, once chaotic, began to quiet. For the first time in many months, he fell into a deep, peaceful sleep. The next morning, Viro awoke feeling refreshed and lighter than he had in weeks. His mind was clear, his heart calm, and he felt more present than ever before. Over the next few days, he continued his practice of mindfulness and letting go of attachments during the evening. And each night, sleep came to him with ease. Months passed, and Viro's life began to change in ways he hadn't expected. With better sleep, he found that his meditation practice became deeper and more focused. He was able to serve others with more patience and compassion, and he found that the challenges of the day no longer weighed on him the way they once had. His life was infused with a quiet sense of peace, not because everything was perfect, but because he had learned the art of letting go. One evening, Fra Yai sat with Viro under the stars, the night air cool and crisp. "You have learned much, my young friend," the elder monk said. "You now understand that true peace comes not from seeking things outside yourself, but from the stillness within. This is the way of the monk and the way of life. When we release our attachments, including our worries, we make room for the peace that was always there." Viro nodded, grateful for the guidance he had received. He now understood that sleep wasn't just about closing his eyes. It was about closing his mind to the distractions and anxieties that kept him awake. By embracing mindfulness, he had unlocked a deeper sense of rest and clarity that allowed him to live more fully. In the stillness of his mind, he had found not just sleep, but the true meaning of peace. In the hustle of life, we often forget the importance of quieting our minds. The story of Viro reminds us that sleep is not just a physical need, but a mental one. By practicing mindfulness, letting go of attachments, and embracing the stillness within, we can sleep better, live better, and truly experience the peace that lies at the heart of Buddhist teachings.